Hello and welcome to Trend Watch 777 Show. In this video, we have some breaking news. The breaking news, Homan, he issues uncompromising public message to Minneapolis ICE protesters. And we're going to get to that video in a minute. But first, I want to inform those who doesn't know who Tom Homan is. He is an American law enforcement officer and a former acting director of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is ICE. He was appointed as border czar by Donald Trump in November 2024, overseeing border security and immigration enforcement. Homan has a long history in law enforcement, having served under 6 presidents and previously leading ICE during the Trump first term. He is known for advocating for stricter immigration policies and has been involved in controversial practices such as family separation. Now, in the video, Homan said when a reporter asked him, well, how many murderers has been arrested, it seems pretty clear that they're making it a point to say they're going after murderers, when at first I was pretty sure he said he's going after immigrations, the illegal aliens, the immigrants. But now all of a sudden they're going after criminals, and whether, I don't know if you have to be an immigrant or not, as long as you're a criminal, I guess they're coming after you. But anyway, he said he didn't know how many was arrested. And he also went on to say that sanctuary cities are cities that's housing criminals. He also said that the border is more secure in the history of our nation. The border is more secure, and that is due to ICE being present and ICE out there doing their job. And he also said that, let me see, he said that the protest, they can protest all they want, because all they're going to do is they're going to double down and they're going to enforce their law. Forget the law of the books, the law of the land. They're going to enforce their law. So that is what he said. And so now I'm going to switch over and we're going to watch the video. And this is Forbes Breaking News. Shout out to Forbes Breaking News for this video. And I'm going to start it now. Let me speed it up here.
Hey, Tom.
Couple of questions.
Can we ask you a few questions?
Time for any questions?
A few.
Thank you so much. I know that this is a hard figure to have precisely, but ballpark, how many murderers do you believe ICE has rounded up so far?
You know, I have no idea. I can tell you that, you know, anywhere between 65 and 70% of everybody we're arresting is a criminal. I know there's been a lot of murders. I wish I had that number because the number's pretty high. But if you look at, we were, deported about 650,000 formal deportations since President Trump's been in office, and you take 65, 70% of that being criminals, that's a lot of bad people we deported.
I'm asking because President Trump said yesterday that there are hundreds of thousands of murderers that ICE is going after.
There's a
in
lot
this
of murders.
country.
I just don't have that number with me.
seems to keep growing all the time. What do you think is a more realistic number of how many murderers?
I'm not
are
saying the
loose in this
president isn't
country?
realistic. I don't have those numbers in front of me.
There are hundreds of thousands of people on the loose who committed murders in the U.S.?
I think we arrest a lot of murderers, and I don't have a number, and I'm not going to comment on President comments. I don't have that data in front of me.
Mr. Homan, with the defunding of sanctuary jurisdictions, could you say anything about what funds are going to be pulled back and which are not? And can you also describe your relationship with Mayor Mamdani versus Eric Adams?
Well, first of all, I don't think the decision has been made yet about specific funds, but I support pulling federal funds away from cities that release public safety threats in their communities. You're out working with us. This sanctuary cities are sanctuary for criminals. I have not met with the mayor of New York City. I did meet with the prior mayor, Eric Adams, because he asked for a meeting. So we'll see what happens. I have not met with Mamdani. The only time I've ever seen him is up in Albany, New York, before he ran for mayor, and he was screaming and yelling and pushing his way through state police to try to get a moment with me. But I was too busy eating my apple and ignoring him.
Mr. Homan, when it comes to Minneapolis, we're seeing images like yesterday of a woman who was stopped by federal agents. She was dragged out of her car. I know DHS always has a response to this as to why they're acting that way. There are Americans who see this and say this looks like Putin's Russia. What is your
That's ridiculous. You know what? In Minneapolis, let's remember who set the stage here. First of all, the Biden administration let millions of people release millions of illegal aliens in this country in violation of the law. Many of them criminals because they weren't properly vetted. We're arresting thousands of them. So first of all, they created the problem with millions of illegal alien criminals in this country. Second of all, Minneapolis, they're a sanctuary city. You know, if they'd let us in their damn jail and stop being a sanctuary city, we could arrest the bad guy in the safety and security of the jail. But because they normally release them, now we got to go in the community and find them. Then they're mad we're in the community. President Trump made us promise to American people, we're going to find these criminals and make America safe again. So if they don't let us in the jail, we're going to go in the community. The difference is, in places that's not a sanctuary, one agent can walk into a jail and arrest one criminal illegal alien. But when you release them in the community, now we got to send the whole team because we got to arrest somebody on their turf. They have access, who knows what weapons. It makes it dangerous for the officer, makes it dangerous for the alien, certainly makes it dangerous for the community. So if Minneapolis wants to help, like I saw Mayor Frey do an interview this morning, let us in your damn jail. What's the downside of letting a federal law enforcement officer with immigration authority talk to an illegal alien that you already locked up and put in a jail cell? It's ridiculous that they're pushing back on that.
Mr. Homan, on some of the when it comes to some of the ICE agents that are going door to door in places like Minneapolis, I'm just curious how you square some of those going into these homes with the Fourth Amendment search and seizure. How do you square those two things, and is there any potential violation of Fourth Amendment with some of these ICE agents' activities going into some?
If any ICE agent, Border Patrol violates policy, they're allowed to be held accountable. But we got to remember that, you know, there's a lot of confusion out there, difference between reasonable suspicions and probable cause. If an officer gathers reasonable suspicion from a myriad of circumstances, a bunch of factors, they can temporarily detain and question somebody on an immigration interview. In order to arrest that person, you got to establish probable cause. I can't sit here and pull out case by case. I think the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol are doing a difficult job in a very unfriendly area where law enforcement response for emergency response is sporadic at best. Death threats are up over 8,000%. Actual assaults up 1,300%. I know because threats against me and my family have tripled in the last couple of weeks. They got a dangerous job to do. Again, let us in the jail to arrest a public safety threat. Because I said this 1,000 times, when you force us in the community to find the public safety threat, many times they're with others, or we find others in the process of doing that. If we find them, they're in the country illegally, they're getting arrested too. So more officers in the street means more collateral arrests. We have promised American people we're going to force immigration. Let me tell you why we have the most secure border in the history of this nation today. Part of it is because of what ICE is doing. We have shown the whole world there are consequences to enter this country illegally. We're not going to send a message cross the border illegally, it's a crime. Don't worry about it. Get order removed. Don't worry about it. Unless you commit another crime, no one's looking for you. If that's the message we send, you're never going to fix this problem. We send a strong message, and that's why we have the most secure border in history of the nation. And President Trump, by doing that, is saving thousands of lives. We know that women and children aren't making that dangerous journey. We know that no one's drowning in the river today. We know fentanyl isn't coming across at the levels it came to Joe Biden. We certainly know no inspected terrorists aren't coming across like Joe Biden. We're doing the right thing. We're going to keep with it, and they can protest all they want. We're just going to double down and enforce the law. And I said for months, we're going to surge resources in sanctuary cities because that's where the problem is. We know they're releasing public safety threats. We're going to send the agents where we know the biggest problem is.
Okay, so there you have it. And it boggles my mind that he is so bent on arresting criminals when he himself, as well as Trump, have, well, we know Trump's a felon. But over here, I saw now Homan, Tom Homan, the same guy we just got finished listening to. He was accused, allegedly, accepted a $50K bribe from undercover FBI agents. And the only reason he got off was because Donald Trump took office. So the FBI closed the case after U.S. President Donald Trump took office. So come on now. How you going to just sit up and you like holier than thou, you want to go and arrest all the criminals? And so I was also trying to find out, can they go into a jail and arrest people? So I came across this here, and I don't believe I'm going to read all of this article, but it does say that ICE, they can go into jails, and I would put it on the screen, but I have to format it so that it can fit and that we can all watch it. And I'm not trying to do all that at the moment, but in short, it says that ICE can go into jails and arrest criminals. Okay, they can arrest criminals. They can do that. So ICE enforcement and removal operations, that's the ERO, they're responsible for civil immigration. Let me move this over to the other screen so it can be bigger. Maybe I can also put it up on the screen so we can read it, because I had it on my small monitor and I couldn't really make it out there. So I'm not going to read all of it, and I can't make it, trying to format it. Okay, so here, I think I have it. All right, so let's switch over so we can read it together. I'm going to start it over. Now it says, yes, ICE can go into jails and arrest criminals. ICE enforcement and removal operations, those are the ERO, and they're responsible for civil immigration enforcement within the United States. Now, the ERO deportation officers are tasked with identifying, arresting, detaining, and ultimately removing non-citizens who are in violation of U.S. immigration laws. Now, it says U.S. immigration laws. It doesn't say anything about criminal laws as far as I can read right now. And the consequences of ERO, again, that's the enforcement and removal operations. Let me see, or civil, okay, I got it. All right, let me start. The consequences of ERO enforcement are civil such as detention and removal, not criminal punishment. ICE operates under specific acts of Congress, including the Homeland Security Act of 2002 and the Immigration and Nationality Act, that's the INA, which grant the executive branch the authority to enforce immigration laws. Okay, so then I also went down. Okay, so they can go in jail and get them if they are in violation of the U.S. immigration laws. Now, I want to see what they can and cannot do. And I'm going to skip through this article because I think it's a long article and I'm not going to read. I'm just skimming. Okay, mission instructors. Okay, Homeland Security. All right, criminal. All right. All right, so I don't see specifically where it says, okay, the enforcement and removal operations, ERO is the directorate responsibility for civil immigration enforcement inside the United States. ERO deportation officers are tasked with identifying, arresting, detaining, and ultimately removing non-citizens who are in violation of U.S. immigration laws. Now, the ERO's stated priority is to focus on individuals who may present a threat to national security, public safety, or border security, such as those with criminal conviction or gang affiliations. So that is responsible for the ERO. I don't think the ERO is that part of ICE enforcement. Okay. The consequences of the ERO enforcement are civil detention and removal, not criminal punishment. So I think this is what they're saying, that if they do go into this jail and detain the criminal, but he has to be in violation of the immigration, so he cannot be a citizen of the U.S. So what they would do is just go in there and detain him and then remove him, and I guess they would ship him off to their country, but they are not to be criminally punished. Okay, now supporting, what's going on here? All right. I don't like when that happens, so I can't even see the rest of the article. So whatever. All right, I'm just going to leave it there. And yeah, I don't like when that happens because I wanted to see what was said next, and I have no idea why that thing popped up like that. Okay, so now I got it going away, so we can go back over here. All right, so we got that supporting the, okay, it came back up. Okay, so I'm done. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to pop up on here real quick and go over that video about Tom Holmes. So it's like it's not going to be no peace in sight, because the more that people protest and the more that people push back is the more that ICE taking the orders from the top is just going to like just clash heads, you know. All right, so that's it, and I'm going to end the video here. Shout out to my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. I'm out. Be blessed, y'all.